Brother Lucían, while I am sure you have seen her around, I imagine this is the first time you are formally meeting our outside contractor." The abbot gestures at her like he could possibly be discussing anyone else, and Lucían nods like anything in his life makes sense right now, trying desperately to make it seem like this is the first time he's meeting her and there was never a midsummer morning in a tomato. He makes completely terrified eye contact with her, begs her without words not to mention their previous meeting. "They call me the she-wolf," she says pleasantly, giving him a small nod. He remembers precisely the strong alto of her voice, the deep undercurrent of it like distant thunder. It vibrates through him like a tiny earthquake, and he shivers despite the fire. He never thought he'd hear it in person again, for all it had lodged itself deeply in his memories. "It's nice to meet you officially, Brother Lucían." There's just the smallest emphasis on officially, and Lucían relaxes infinitesimally at the confirmation that they're just not going to mention the thing with the tomato. It's at this point that, deciding his conscious mind is completely useless, some deep part of Lucían's hindbrain takes over by defaulting to the formal greetings that he trained in since childhood. He bows over his clasped hands. "My lady she-wolf, may the Lord watch over you and keep you safe in your many travels." The she-wolf's eyes glint. "You may want to keep those blessings for yourself, young brother." Lucían blinks. "What?" He shakes himself and tries again, but out loud this time. "What?" "The she-wolf is our outside contractor." The abbot pours himself a cup of tea as Lucían tears his eyes away from her and fights to pay proper attention. The old man takes a sip, and Lucían notes with a tiny amount of disapproval that there's only one cup on the desk. The she-wolf hasn't been offered a refreshment, as the Lord directs his children to offer travelers, and he finds himself vaguely offended on her behalf before dragging his focus back to the conversation at hand. "Sometimes," the abbot continues, "we need work done that requires skills that our monks and clerics do not possess." "Mostly sword-related skills," the she-wolf adds cheerfully. The abbot presses his lips together, clearly put out by the interruption, but unwilling to say so to a 6.5-foot tall woman with arms like small trees. He primly adjusts the fur-lined collar of his robe. "Indeed, the she-wolf has been instrumental in acquiring pigments we find impossible to grow or trade for, establishing communication with distant monasteries, and tracking down stolen property." The abbot's eyes flash. "It's the latter that concerns us presently." Lucían sits forward, a mystery managing to, marginally, distract him from the presence of the she-wolf, even as he can feel those green eyes on him. "Sir?" "In the fall, we sent a package of rare and valuable books to the university in the capital. They never arrived. Stolen. Of course, they have the usual tracking spells built in, but we have no way of recovering them without the assistance of an outside contractor like the she-wolf. She's agreed to help us, but she had some terms." "I don't know your tracking spells," the she-wolf adds, her tone still cheerful. "In all honesty, I'm about as magical as a box of wet rocks. I am also not fluent in 5 languages, and I don't know enough about the work you do here to be able to recognize a genuine manuscript from a fake or forgery. I need a guide who can track the stolen goods and who can also help me identify them when we find the books." She touches the new scar on her eyebrow, and her mouth quirks sheepishly. "It'd be nice to have a healer along as well. My work can be challenging." Lucían nods along. This all makes perfect sense. Clearly, she'd need someone from the monastery to go with her. They probably want his opinion on who would be best. Maybe Brother Jan? Then the abbot says, "To get directly to the point, the she-wolf has purchased your contract. You will be accompanying her on this mission, and any others she desires until she returns you to the monastery." Lucían blinks. He opens his mouth. He closes it. He opens it again. He closes it again, swallows, and manages, "What?"